still not there.
Are you winded from walking all the way there?
No, I'm all right.
You're all right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
So right off the bat, I want to ask you, because I want to get to know you a little bit.
Nice.
What are you enjoying in life? What kind of things do you fangirl over?
What do I fangirl over? I mean, it's not that exciting of an answer. I'm obsessed with food, and
no, that is totally something you can fangirl over.
I love to cook. So the people that I fangirl over are usually chefs, famous chefs.
Like Guy Fieri?
No. Well, I'm sure he's lovely. No, like Joel Robuchon, and so the big chefs. Sorry, Guy. He's not here, right?
No. Wait, Guy Fieri's not here, is he? No, okay.
No, not today.
Not today.
I don't know. The things I enjoy, I'm a very normal person. I have a 2.5-year-old son. He takes up most of my time when I'm not working. I like to relax and hang out with my family as much as possible. So.
I believe you're far from normal in a good way, though. Like a very unique way. I know one thing that you're excited about: the royal wedding.
Yeah, I brought one of my good friends with me this weekend. My friend Trish is here. I'm sure she's really sick of hearing about it because.
Sorry, we're gonna bring it up again.
I was really excited yesterday, but I knew I had to get sleep, so I couldn't watch it live. As soon as I woke up this morning, I was going through the internet, looking at clips and crying, as you do. I'm Canadian, we're part of the Commonwealth. So this whole royal wedding business just hits close to home, and the obsession with the royals goes way back generations in my family. When I was a little kid, I got to meet the Queen.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, she came to Vancouver, and I was one of those little kids who gave her flowers because my grandmother was so obsessed. We got there hours early, just so we could get a glimpse of the Queen.
Much like Comic-Con. Right?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, just like that. Exactly like that. And when Diana passed away, I got a panicked call from my mom in the middle of the night. She was like, "It's Diana." Like they were like best buds. It's a very big deal, and I've seen about 1,000 photos of it all. And
do you, in your mind, secretly pick out what dress you would wear if you did get the invite?
No, I don't go that far because that's very masochistic, you see. My friend Gina went to the wedding.
Gina.
Torres. I usually love Gina, but today I hate her living guts. She's been sending me pictures and keeping me up to date. And I'm just living vicariously through her. We were both so blown away that this is even happening. That it's just crazy. So she got to go.
Does she taunt you when she sends a picture too? Like, guess where I'm at?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That kind of friendship.
Yeah.
That kind of friendship.
Yeah.
That's the best kind of friendship.
We go back. But it's very exciting.
Okay, and then you also have a birthday coming up soon?
I do. I keep forgetting about that, but you're right.
Yeah, and you'll be 23?
23.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, let's be honest right here. You look like you're 23.
Oh.
I'm literally, I'm not trying to butter you up or anything. Do you guys agree though?
I'll be 36.
How do you do it? Like, do you have a special regimen or something? Like,
no, I'm not. Thank you. It's a very awkward.
I don't
answer.
But tell us more. How do you get your skin so glowing?
I don't know. I'm a good esthetician. Really nice facials and makes me put cream on my face. I don't know. I'm embarrassed now.
No, don't be embarrassed. No, don't be embarrassed. Great.
Thanks.
Now I feel like a jerk.
It's all right.
Come on, man.
I know.
You're
Come on.
great.
I know. Come on.
Great.
Okay. Let's jump into something I'm really excited about because I know a lot of people. They love Firefly, things like that. But what I want to talk about, we'll get to it in a minute. Don't hate me. We'll get to it in a minute. Are you afraid of the dark?
Oh, yes. So that's the show that you guys got down here?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? You serious?
Because it was a Canadian production company.
Nickelodeon.
And it was on Nickelodeon. So for like the longest time I thought it was just in Canada. It was just seen in Canada.
Oh no.
So you learn something new every day.
Oh no. Are You Afraid of the Dark is a huge cult following down here.
Oh, awesome. I love that.
Huge
Cool.
cult following. So and it's weird because like I remember the episodes that you were on, like the unfinished painting, things like that.
Caleb Watches Wood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I remember how like looking up images and going back and watching, I'm like, oh my god, it is her. Was that one of your first jobs that you've ever had
Oh no,
as far as acting?
I was a veteran by then.
How old were you at that point?
The first episode I did, I think I was 10. And then the unfinished painting episode, I was about 13, I think.
Okay.
I started in the business when I was 5. I booked my first job when I was 5.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's funny, today we were in our hotel lobby and Henry Winkler was there waiting for the same shuttle that we were all going in or whatever. And I did a movie with Henry when I was 9 or something. And he played my like psychotic stepdad in a Lifetime movie. John Ritter was my dad. And it was such a great experience for me as a kid. Henry was so kind. I had a birthday party, or a birthday, on set one of the days I was working. And I remember he stayed, so he could sing happy birthday to me when they brought out the cake. He'd been wrapped up for the day, but he stayed. He doesn't really remember me now. I didn't want to, say this long story to him in the lobby, so I didn't. But he's equally as nice. It was just like the first time we met.
He really is.
Nice to meet you. And I was like, you too.
I've moderated.
What am I going to do?
I've moderated Henry a couple times before, and he genuinely is like, when you say there's the nicest people in the world, like Henry is up there with.
He is.
Right?
Yeah. There's not a bad bone in his body.
Really not. And he's funny too. He's
very funny. Yeah.
Okay, so Are You Afraid of the Dark? We got that. And then does that lead into Space Cases? Woo! You didn't know there was a big Space Case convention going on down the street, did you?
I think that was right around the time. We did the pilot of Space Cases when I was 12. And then when we were waiting to get picked up for a season, I auditioned for a show called Flash Forward on the Disney Channel.
Okay.
And one person thought,
better than none.
And I booked that show. And Disney's smart, and they make sure they sign all of their child actors under contracts. And so I signed away, and because of that, Space Cases got picked up for a season. I was able to do one, but then when Flash Forward got picked up for a full order, I had to leave Space Cases because I was under contract with Disney and had to go on to the second show, which is why Catalina becomes invisible in season 2. So I had to leave. And it broke my 12-year-old heart because I loved those people so much and was having so much fun. But moved on to something else equally.
Do you regret doing that? Do you regret leaving Space Cases, like signing to the Disney?
No, I had the best time with Flash Forward. It was a super positive experience and loved it. So, it was just one of those first lessons, I think, in the business that sometimes
you have to kind of face the hard way.
Come to an end, yeah, and you have to leave, and it's all a business,
Yeah, it really
a weird lesson for a 12-year-old to learn.
Have you ever ran into anybody doing Catalina cosplay?
Yeah.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
I have the wig in my bag, yes.
Today.
I was Susie.
Yes.
That is...
We took a photo. The photo op. It's on my Instagram story.
That is awesome.
I know.
Good job to you guys. Wow.
It's a really authentic wig too. Like she did a crazy good job, and that could not have been.
Should we make her pull it out and show everybody?
Yeah, let's do. It's the best.
Pulling it out.
I thought this was gonna be like,
I thought that was a setup. I thought you.
No, I really no clue.
Well, there you go.
You were talking to her earlier.
I was talking to her
But she
earlier.
probably didn't have the wig on.
No, she didn't have the wig on, and her name's Kat. I remember that.
Like her name is Kat in real life. Oh my god. See the
Wig
wig?
is a mess now.
It's fabulous.
Oh wow.
I love it.
Come up here and stand so everybody can see.
Oh my god. On stage now.
Get up there. Do it
That
now.
is awesome.
Do it now.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Take a picture?
Yeah.
Get
cat. Woo! Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm dying, and I'm in love with it.
Okay, you good?
You want to do it in front of the crowd or right here?
Yeah, okay.
All right, here we go.
Lol.
And that seriously was not a setup at all. Like, I literally had no idea that there was...
No, but it worked out perfectly.
It did, it
It's
did.
because the royal wedding was today. Everything's going to go perfectly.
So I guess I've never understood, like, the fascination behind the royal weddings.
I know, I understand. Like, Jason and Joe, the Stargate guys, I guess Jason's done some other things since then. We were in the green room and they were scoffing at the royal wedding and, said, anybody want it? And I said, well, yeah, I've been watching clips all morning and, crying. And they were like, are you kidding me? So they made lots of fun of me, but...
I mean, I'm totally not hating it. I guess I just, like I said, I've never understood, like, the fascination behind it because we don't, like, really celebrate anybody else's wedding. So...
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. It's weird. I get it. I understand how weird it is.
It's not, but it doesn't hurt anybody. It's a positive thing, so...
You know what? And that's what it is. It's a positive thing.
Yeah, and I guess that's probably
the news
what...
lately, I don't know if you all have heard. It sucks. So, a little bit of something joyful and
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes watching the news is more of a horror movie than watching a horror movie.
completely agree.
It's absolutely crazy, absolutely. Okay, so we're going to jump into Firefly. You heard of it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Would you say that is your, I know it's hard to pick, every acting job is your baby, it's your child and everything, but we all secretly have a favorite child.
No.
Is Firefly maybe up there?
The thing with Firefly is that it's the one that got away. That's kind of how it feels.
Yeah.
Because it didn't get a fair shot from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So it always had that vibe going on where its days were numbered. And we all knew that. And I think in knowing that, we just sort of soaked it up as much as we could and had so much fun with it and really did not take the experience for granted. And I love those people dearly. They're like family.
Mm-hmm.
And we still get to see each other a lot. So in some weird way, it didn't go anywhere for us.
No, it's still around. I mean, essentially, it's still around.
It's a big part of my life.
Yeah.
And there's so much positivity besides the whole cancellation thing associated with it that I don't mind talking about it. I actually quite enjoy talking about it because it's reliving really good memories.
Do you think there's ever a chance that we might see some more Firefly on a movie
I don't know, man.
or a TV show?
Hey,
something.
Never say never. This business is wacky, and there are so many shows getting reboots. I mean, Gilmore Girls got a reboot. I'm like,
Roseanne. Whoever thought we'd see Roseanne again?
Yeah. So you never know. You never know.
And I think with TV's definitely changed a whole lot since then.
Oh
I mean,
God.
because we have Netflix, Hulu, all those sorts
And
of
on
things.
and on, yes.
And on and on and on. And I definitely feel like that a lot of these TV shows, such as Firefly, that were gone way, 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 way too soon. I think those are nice mediums for these TV shows to come back eventually. Do you think, could you ever see a Firefly or a spinoff being on a Netflix or a Hulu?
Maybe. I mean, certainly things have changed. Back in those days, I think it was, all about the 5 juggernaut networks.
Mm-hmm.
It was Fox, ABC, NBC, and they dominated television. But things have changed so much now, and there are so many ways for all of these little quirky creative shows to be seen. That would be great. I mean, the word spin-off scares me a little bit. I think the only way that it would have its magic again would be if all of us were there, which is not possible now. But if most of us could do it and be there, then obviously I think it would be wonderful. I love them very much and would love to work with them again. But I know some of us are a little worried that it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, I think that's
And you'd
what
be
it
like
is. A lot of
messing with
TV
a good
shows.
thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah.
Would you be weary about it if they called you tomorrow and said, hey, we're going to do this? Would you
No,
be like,
I would be overjoyed.
Okay.
You know, I think we all would. I think we'd be so happy, not just for us, but for the fans too.
right?
More for the fans, really. We get to hang out all the time if we want to, you know. And for you guys, to give you something new would, I know, mean something and would mean a lot to us too.
But at least it still lives on in things like comic books and stuff like that. So they're still getting
Yeah, and
they're
at
still
these
getting
conventions too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's really nice to see is the moving of the fandom from generation to generation. You know, people are having little brown coat babies and passing it on to them. So there's all these new fans, and people still say to me, "I just watched. I just started it." I'm like, well, I won't tell you what happens.
No spoilers, right?
But yeah, it's a very amazing thing to be a part of, and has changed my life entirely for the good. So for the better.
I want to make sure that you guys have questions that you want to ask as well. So we have 2 Q&A mics right over here.
Anything goes. Stargate questions too.
You-
I was
you heard it
concerned
right
with the
here.
Stargate fans. You guys-
I'm saving the very detailed stuff for the fans out here. All right, so go ahead.
Stump me.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Eric.
Hi.
How you doing? I wanted to ask you about your experience in creating Serenity, the movie. Like, how was that?
The movie?
Yes.
How
How was it different from the TV show?
It was different for a few reasons. The biggest reason was that none of us were afraid of losing our jobs. You know, that feeling of dread when we were doing the show, waiting to hear that anxiety in your stomach. It's tough. It's a little damper on things. But when we did the movie, there was none of that. We knew when the beginning was, the middle was, and the end was. We knew exactly how much time we had. And we also had the most beautiful set. They'd recreated the set, but just with a little more detail, a little more money. And the first time we saw that was an unforgettable day. And Nathan had seen it first, of course. Had snuck in and looked, and he said, "Oh my God, you guys are gonna die. It looks exactly the same. It's really quite eerie when you walk on that set, and it's all just as if no time had passed." But we shot on the Universal Studios lot, and when you are working on the Universal lot, you also get to ride the rides. So I'd go in my Kaylee outfit and ride the rides. I didn't care. Great time. I'd make Marina go through the Van Helsing haunted house with me. She's afraid of everything, and it's the best watching her scream and lose her mind. So we did that. It was so much fun. It was the most redeeming experience, and just nothing but positivity. It was great. And 4 months of it. It was awesome.
Also, how did you end up getting your role on Stargate?
I was on Stargate. I played 2 different people on Stargate. The first time I was on Stargate, I guest starred as a Wraith. I did not know what a Wraith was. I learned a very important lesson. Do your research before you say yes to a job. And they took a head cast of my face. They took a cast of my teeth. They measured my eyes for contact lenses, and I was like, this is uh-oh. And my call time the first day at work was 3:30 a.m. to get into makeup. And it was hard. It was really hard. I have nothing but respect for actors who do prosthetic work every day for months on end, because it's incredibly difficult and very tiring. So I did that, and they said, we'd love to have you back on the show. And I said, great, not as that character though. And they were like, we'll find something else for you. And then I don't think that much time passed, less than a year. And they called out of the blue. You know, it's so funny. I'm a big believer in manifesting what you want. And I was at home in Vancouver, and I said, all I want is just a job at home where I can sleep in my own bed for a while and work from home. That's all I want. and they called out of the blue and said, "Would you like to be the new doctor on the show?" and offered me a 3-year contract. Just like that. Great phone call. Yeah, so that's how it all went down, and it was one of the best jobs I've ever had.
Come on over here on your side.
Hi, Joel.
Hi.
So I have a 2-part culinary question, since you mentioned that.
Culinary question?
Yes.
Hit me, baby.
So I did find it interesting that during Firefly and all that, it had a big boost of the Chinese culture. You know, you had bao buns. Was there any part of that experience, culinary experience, that you remember the most? I actually tried looking up, and there wasn't really that many dishes that were like, you know, visible or anything. And then the other one is, since you mentioned that you're into the royal thing, your stance on fruitcake versus elderflower cake. Because I gotta tell you, when I heard that normally it's fruitcake, I threw up a little bit.
I know, I can't stand fruitcake. It's so disappointing. Well, the stuff that we ate on the show was never as good as it sounded or anything like that. It was like cut up protein bars and things like that. It was really, usually when you see actors eating on set, the food is not, it's not good. Yeah, so it just, you really have to act it out. It's great. So yeah, not much to report there. But yeah, you said elderflower cake?
Yeah, it had some component.
At the royal wedding?
Yes, the current one broke with tradition.
It's an elderflower cake?
It's
My day is
elderflower
ruined.
sponge cake. So,
I don't know what to say. Wow. Diana wouldn't have liked that.
We might have to end this early. I think you're a little distraught.
Thank you.
Jump back over here.
Hi, Joel.
Hi.
First of all, I want to thank you for Stargate Atlantis. It was such a positive and uplifting show. My wife and I are huge fans. She's right there in the front row. She
Awesome.
loves you to death.
Hi.
And just a fun question. The episode where you and Ronan were trapped in the medical bay and almost kissed, did you actually rehearse the kiss, even though you knew you weren't going to do it? It's like,
Let me
Jason,
tell you something, my friend. We did kiss.
What?
Yeah. But for some reason, they cut it short, so it looks like they didn't quite kiss. But we did kiss. I was there. And Jason he did a Q&A where he got asked about this, and he made some weird lie up. Or it was like a 15-second long kiss. I'm like, no, it wasn't. You wish. It was 3 seconds. Yeah, I love how he made it into this way more dramatic moment than it was.
That's great. Thank you.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how was that kiss?
I mean, you know. 10.
All right.
You've seen him. Right.
Jump over here.
How you doing, Joel?
Hi.
So I have a question. Since browncoats are now infiltrating the Marvel universe, what character would you want to be?
Who's the laziest one? No, really. You know, I used to really want to do a lot more action and kind of be one of those like badass women who comes out and takes down the whole room. But I have friends who've played those roles, and I watch what it does to them, what they go through, the endless rehearsals, and you know, we're all going out to have a good time, and they're like, "Bye, I'll be here. See you later." The amount of work that goes into roles like that would blow your mind. And now that I have a baby at home, I just want to get home. At the end of the day, you know,
Nothing wrong with that.
I know, things have changed. Things have changed. I'm also very tired, very tired, all the time. So, if I could be like the Marvel hero who like does everything with her mind while sitting on the couch, that would be
Like a couch potato. superhero.
Yes.
Like, so like maybe like a Staiter tater.
Yes.
Nobody. Okay, I thought that was. Jeez.
It was quick. Thank you.
We'll go over here.
Hey, Jewel. I met you last year. There was a Comic-Con in the Philly suburbs where you were kind of Alan's straight man for all the Q&As.
Oh, what else is new?
And I got a picture with you. I showed it to my wife when I got home, and she's like, well, she likes Firefly. She's like, oh, did you ask her about any of the Hallmark Christmas movies? And I'm like, no, I told her I was a big fan for Firefly. So I'm asking you a year later about the Hallmark Christmas movies and if you're doing any more.
I would love to do more. Those are so much fun to do. I don't know. I mean, a lot of the things that we do, a lot of things you see actors do, and you go like, why would they do something like that? It's because it's a really good time. And sometimes you just want to have fun. And they're very easy jobs to do. The hours are great. They shoot in Vancouver most of the time, weirdly. Vancouver's always staged to look like New York City with fake snow and all that stuff. All the time. So yeah, I would love to. I've had so much fun doing those. And I love that they play every year. It makes me so happy. I'm like, there I am. My husband's like, we've seen it.
Thanks. Is it hard to do? So when do you? I guess when do you film a Christmas movie? Like what time of year?
In June or July. Yeah.
So is it hard to get in that Christmas mindset
It's
in the
not
middle
that
of summer?
clothes. They put you in big parkas and we call them toques. I don't know what you guys call them down here.
What, hats?
Yeah. Toque. Canadians call them toques.
Oh, okay.
Nick cap. Toque. And scarves and gloves, and so you're bundled up because it's cold. But it's not. You're sweating, or makeup people are coming over with fans, like trying to, make you look half decent. And I remember we did this whole scene with a bunch of little kids. All of our background performers were little kids that day. And they too were bundled up, and the sun was beating down, and it's this hot July day. And this little boy had never been on a film set, worked on a movie before. And he took his scarf off. He was like 6. He took his scarf off and he was like, I'm done with this business. I was like, fair.
The kid knows what he wants in life.
And he did. He was like, I am out of here.
He's actually signing autographs in the hall now.
I know. Exactly.
Is it harder to work with kids or animals?
Neither. I've loved both. I don't know. I feel like that's such a cliche because I've worked with lots of really impressive animals. Animals are amazing. Like horses I've seen walk up and get to their mark and stand on their mark. It's fascinating. I could tell he was really nervous. I think he was new. It was his first job.
Had to make a good impression.
Yeah, and I had to hold him, and he was just like, this little sweaty, hot, panting dog, poor thing. And, the kids I worked with have been totally brilliant pros, more professional than some adults I worked with, to be honest with you. So I've just never really had
That's good. That's the first person I've ever heard say no, neither. So, very honest. Very
I've
honest.
just been really lucky. That's probably what it is.
Could be.
I probably just shot myself in the foot.
Wait till you have to work with like a monkey or something, and then or have you ever worked with a monkey?
I've never worked with a monkey.
Oh.
That would be new.
I have an obsession with like orangutans. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Wow.
One of my bucket list items is to high five an orangutan.
Very interesting.
I don't know why. I honestly don't know why.
That's okay.
I just feel like that a lot of people can say that they've done things in life, but not many people can say they've high-fived an orangutan.
That's true.
So.
Some people like the royal weddings. Some people like high-fiving orangutans.
This is so awesome. I got Jewel Staite talking about orangutans. I'll shut up. Over here.
Howdy.
Hi.
Given you're traveling a fair amount for the job and cons, are there any, in retrospect, entertaining travel horror stories you'd want to share?
Travel horror stories?
Yeah.
Like bad experiences?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm sure. I don't know. I mean, nothing too bad. Man, I get really lucky most of the time. Like I get to go to New Zealand for 2 weeks, all expenses paid trip. Yeah. And they treated us like kings. Took us to Hobbiton for a private tour. I know.
Just made everybody super sad.
I got to try on Gandalf's hat at Weta. Like, it was out of control. Amazing. But yeah, I mean, if anything, like when you end up in these tiny towns in the middle of nowhere, we've been in very weird little villages in the UK, for instance, or Germany, doing conventions there. It's just a bonding experience because you're with the people that you've worked on shows with, and in the middle of the nowhere, and you find a pub and basically have a laugh. So yeah, it hasn't been too bad. The only terrible things are when your luggage gets lost, and then you have to do a Q&A in your sweatpants that you wore on the plane or whatever.
This legit happened?
Well, I went shopping.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I will not.
Please tell me there's pictures
No,
somewhere.
I found a top shop or something somewhere and just furiously grabbed things off the rack and then ran to the convention because I just refused to go on stage in my sweatpants. But that's just me.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable. But if you did, it'd still be cool.
Thanks.
Just think about it one
You
day.
haven't seen my sweatpants.
Are they like 20 years old?
They're like big genie pants. My husband's like, what on earth? But it's comfortable. You're, flying across the country. You want to be comfortable.
Exactly.
This is a boring story.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Well,
So forgiving.
I'm super nervous to ask. Kaylee has always been like my favorite female in sci-fi. Just such a vibrant, well-delivered character. So I'm not sure if I'm going to love the answer either way, but I've always wondered if part of you, if you're able to put part of you into her character, or if you're just really that good.
I don't know. It's always hard to answer that. I get the question a lot, which character that you've played are you the most like? And it's very hard for me to know that. My friends and family would be able to tell you more, I think. But I think you can't help but put a little bit of yourself into every character that you play. Or certainly take a little piece of that character home with you at the end of the day. It's very hard to just kind of turn it off sometimes. So playing somebody like that, who's so positive and wears her heart on her sleeve and loves life and loves almost everybody, that's a very nice thing to get to know and a very nice thing to be able to take away. And a nice thing to be known for, too. The people I meet at conventions are usually really nice to me, and I understand that if you've played a villain, they're not that nice to you. Which makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Good question. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Could you tell us a little about your part in the series LA Complex in the series, and what was your character's name? Raquel?
Raquel.
Yes.
I miss her. I had so much fun playing that role. The LA Complex was about a group of people in Hollywood trying to make it.
All from Canada?
Yeah, all from Canada. And we shot in Canada, which is so weird. I was living in LA at the time and got the part, and then they sent me to Toronto to shoot it. And they built a little set that looked like LA. Very weird business. But yeah, she was just this cutthroat, desperate mess, really, who would do just about anything to get to the top. My friend Martin Garrow created the show, and he was one of our producers and writers on Stargate. So he and I became really close when we were doing Stargate, really good friends. And then he wrote the LA Complex, and he said, I'd really like you to play this role. I'm going to send you the script, let me know what you think. And this woman she'd had a very successful short-lived show like 10 years prior. And she there were mirrors of me in there for sure. There were things in there that he had specifically put in there. It was just sort of like a more exaggerated version of my personality. So it made me laugh. But I also went, man, I could have so much fun with this and just go like really big. And I had such a blast, and we were just so crushed when it got canceled because it just felt like we were just revving up. But yeah, it's one of those things I'm most proud of actually that I've done, and hardly anybody's seen it. But I think it's out there somewhere, iTunes or something. LA Complex. It's a great show.
Over here.
Hi. I know you said that you'd want to be a lazy superhero, but
lazy superhero.
Looking back, what is the stunt work you've had the most fun doing?
I really like heights. So we did an episode of Stargate called Missing, where me and Rachel Luttrell are on a wire, sort of walk at a little tiny little bridge, walking across a canyon. And my character is supposed to be really afraid of heights, and Rachel's character, Taylor, sort of walks ahead of me. But the opposite was true. And I love heights. I was like, ooh, this is so fun. I mean, they put you in a harness, you're perfectly safe. And it's neat, it's exhilarating. But Rachel was not having it. She was like, I don't like this. I'll do it once. You have one take. That's it. But for me, they were like, can we get extra shots of you? And I was like, sure. So I just did it again and again and again. And then when we were doing Firefly, there were a few moments, I think. But one of them in particular, when Adam and I are outside the ship, and we're outside this giant, set piece against a green screen, very, very, very high up, and his character gets electrocuted, I think, and he sort of gets shocked and passes out. That's the shot that they needed, and his stunt double, they pulled the wire. It's supposed to simulate, kind of pulls his body back, and he hit his head. And he hit his head so hard that he got a really big concussion. And I kind of noticed, I was like, wow, you really hit your head hard there. Are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm fine. And we're, up on this big set piece, and they're setting up and moving cameras around. He's getting weirder and weirder. And he's like, what time is it? Like, just asking me really weird questions. I'm like, I don't know, Tim. And he's like, what are we doing right now? And I said, I think they're setting up, we're going to do another take. And he's like, no, what are we doing right now? And then he threw up. And I was like, oh my God, no. So they had to climb up there and get us down, and poor Tim had to go to the hospital, and he ended up being fine, but it was really, really scary. But, and Adam didn't want, Adam was like, I'm not going to go up there. Tim did like that. Tim can do it, and then he felt really guilty after for not going up and doing the stunt, but I was fine. And I was like, this was great, take my picture. Thank you.
All right, we have just a couple minutes left. We'll try and get to the rest of
I'll talk fast.
Quick Atlantis question. I've been rewatching as it runs on Comet. I feel like Keller and Dex have better chemistry than Keller and McKay. Do you have an opinion about that?
I do have an opinion. I think, Jen and Ronan had a physical connection. But Jen is a smart lady, and she knew that she needed an intellectual connection to make a relationship work, which is why she chose
That's unfair
McKay.
to Dex.
What's that?
It's unfair to Ronan Dex. He's not a big dumb guy.
He's not a big dumb guy, but she's, a sort of slightly nerdy, went to school and graduated at a very early age. So did McKay. She is really into science and really into medicine, and McKay is also really into science, and they have a lot of similarities. And she and Ronan, they didn't have a ton of similarities in personality. So that's why she chose McKay. And I'm glad she did. Smart lady. They're a better match, in my opinion.
All right, get to your question.
Hi, Joel. My name is Frye. I'm a huge fan of Are You Afraid of the Dark, and I love seeing you on it. And I'm actually dressing up as Kaylee tomorrow.
All right.
My question was, I share your same sentiments on the royal wedding, and I actually watched it this morning.
You watched it?
I watched about like 3/4 of it.
Amazing.
So I wanted to ask you, did you prefer Kate's wedding dress or Meghan's wedding dress?
Kate's.
Yeah.
Thank you. I needed some lace.
Yeah.
There's no lace.
It was just so pretty.
No. Yeah, I agree. I had lace in my wedding dress because Kate had lace in hers. So good. I want my pictures to look like that. There's a lot wrong with me.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for making me feel less crazy.
All right, we'll get to the last question right over here.
So honored to be the last question. I'm Yu from I'm from China, and one of the best part of watching Firefly is their Mandarin curses. And one of them
so sorry.
No, it's so hilarious. It's like I never heard anyone in China curse like that. One of the lines that Mel actually said is, have a shit ruling contest with the monkeys. Right. So my question is, like, how did the writers come up with those like Mandarin curses?
I don't know. I think they came up with them hoping that no one would figure out what they were saying. But I'm so glad you got it. And I'm really happy because learning those lines is not easy. It's very, very difficult. And we were all convinced we were doing it horribly. We had a dialect coach who was on set, and she always just looked kind of disappointed. She'd say, okay, try it again, but do it more like this. And you would try it again, and she'd go, that's fine.
I can see everyone was struggling with the Mandarin, like this is super slow.
Yeah, and you'll notice that as the series goes on, the people that were the worst at it had less of it to do. I don't know, I think at the end it was like Adam and Alan had like one line of Mandarin to say, one word of Mandarin to say, that was it. Nathan was very good at it. Would you agree? Nathan is like...
He's probably the best one.
Yeah.
And you're the best one. He's the second best. Objective is...
Nathan was very proud of that fact and still is, and remembers a lot of it, weirdly. And one of his favorite things to do at Q&As is to rattle it off. He's really good at it.
Thank you very much.
So glad you enjoyed that.
Would you sign autograph in Mandarin later?
If you can write it out for me.
No problem, yeah.
I'm happy to.
Awesome.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
That's a unique, cool thing. That's cool.
Yeah. Happy to.
Awesome. Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Jewel, Staite, thank you for dealing with my question.